What are the most important sprinting muscles? I'm going to tell you, and I'm also going to show you some drills which specifically target them. I'm going to take you through a specific training unit of hip orientated drills. These we do early on in a sprinting workout, and they really target the hip complex and they potentiate the hip complex too. That means they're going to fire up the relevant muscles that will really power up your sprint stride. Exercise number 1 is a travelling lunge. Now, the key with this one is to rotate the heel from the back of the body to the front. So you're waking up the hips in that cyclical motion that's key to sprinting. We'll do 2 to 3 reps over 20 meters, depending on the time of the training year. Make sure you move quickly through the movement. Don't waste too much time on the ground. Make sure the front thigh gets to parallel. Next up, it's walking running with hands overhead. Again, the key is to rotate the heel from the back of the body and pass the foot over the knee to the front. So keep the hips up, stand nice and tall, and keep that rotational movement going. Again, 2 to 3 reps, depending on the time of the training year, over 20 meters. You can also do the drill using your arms as well. Make sure you stay on the forefoot and don't let the heel drop to the ground. The faster you can recover your heel from the back of the body to the front, the more power is going to go into the track surface. So it's the posterior chain that's really got to work to do that. This drill on screen now targets the posterior chain, those hamstrings and glute muscles that whip the heel from the back to the front of the body. Try to keep your torso upright and braced and pull against that. You need to think, send signals through to your glutes and your hamstrings to whip that heel through to the front. Okay, exercise 4, a traditional high cycle drill, high dribble. Now make sure you pull the heel up diagonally across the knee to the front, as well as creating the cyclical motion. You need to pull the movement forwards to generate forward momentum. Push the hips up high, hands up high also to the front. 2 to 3 reps over 20 to 30 meters. You can see how by recovering the heel from the back of the body to the front, you achieve the thigh extended position, which is crucial for sprinting. I found over the years that many athletes are unable to actually swing their hip backwards and forwards. It needs to be free, can't be stiff. Therefore, this simple on the spot pivot drill where the hip thigh swings backwards and forwards is designed to create that freeness in the hip, that relaxation. When you sprint, you can't be tight in your hips. The movement needs to be fluent, and this drill teaches that to a degree, and the freedom, as I've said, in the hip to make a powerful swing. 3 to 4 sets of 10 repetitions on both legs. Okay, this is a variation. So swing the hip back a couple of times and then leave the ground to land in what I call sprint posture. So you're learning how to swing the hip to generate forward travel, forward momentum and power. Again, 2 to 3 sets, 10 repetitions on both legs. Try to stick the landing with minimal knee bend, so you're also going to get an eccentric braking benefit as well. Another variant, so you can see how I string these similar drills together in a training unit. So here it's all about traveling forwards. Swing the hip, get up into the air, block the landing, swing the other hip and move forwards powerfully. It's all about hip speed and connecting neurally to the muscles that fire your hips. Okay, a very quick look at some sports science research which focuses on the hip complex. This particular piece indicates that above speeds of 7 meters a second, the hips are crucial for creating forward travel. That's a reasonable speed. For example, an elite female long jumper will be taking off around about 9.2, 9.3, 9.4 meters a second. As I've highlighted here, you'll see the key muscles that are involved in that forward travel, that forward momentum generated from the hips. So now we're going to take a look at some more drills, more exercises that target those muscles specifically. This Borzov lunge is particularly targeting the iliopsoas, the psoas and the muscles to the front of the hip as you swing forwards into the take-off. It's a very demanding exercise. Try to drive it through the hip swing and not the jump leg. You can see in the background how Ayub is doing just that. Here's some further research which compared non-sprinters with sprinters and the cross-sectional area of specific sprint muscles. This research identified that the psoas major and the gluteus maximus, for example, were larger, had a greater cross-sectional area compared to non-sprinters. So again, vindicating why you need to target and develop those particular muscle groups. In fact, the research went as far as to indicate that the cross-sectional area of those particular muscle groups indicated the specific ability of the sprinters, i.e. how fast they could sprint. The larger the cross-sectional area, the faster the sprinter. You can see here how Abraham is really connecting with those anterior front side muscles to generate the power to lift himself off of the ground. It shows that with repetition you can really fire up your hips and develop that cross-sectional area. This is a step swing drill, very similar to the previous Borzov lunge, but it's slightly less intense as it's performed from a more upright position. Step forwards and swing the hip to move forwards and up. Minimize the contribution of the jump leg. And here's further research vindicating that the psoas muscles in particular are crucial for faster sprinting. Interestingly, this piece of research also identified that the rectus femoris muscle is crucial in the swing phase of the sprinting action. So all the drills that you're seeing at the moment target that particular muscle and the others that are crucial in the swing phase and the recovery phase of the sprint action. I've just pulled this montage together so that you can see the particular muscle groups in real time with a particular drill. And here we have a heel recovery every third step drill. So you can see how in this particular training unit I have incorporated very specific movements for the hips that target both the front and the rear muscles. All those muscles that spin the legs round, that create that swing phase, that heel recovery phase of the sprint cycle. They're going to send the right signaling to those muscles to create the movements required of sprinting, and they're going to build the specific cross-sectional area. You do use your muscles in slightly different ways for the acceleration phase of sprinting compared to the max velocity phase, and I'll take a look at that in another video. You also can condition the soft tissue, ligaments, muscles and tendons again in a different way to improve your acceleration vis-a-vis your top end speed. Do consider becoming a channel member. At coach athlete level you'll gain access to exclusive monthly videos. Proving very popular are my monthly training plans where I go through in detail each week of the month cycle, normally a month cycle. To gain access to those videos and to many others, head over to the channel's homepage, go to the membership tab and click on that to take you through to the coach athlete offering. We've had a very successful indoor season. For example, at the time of making this video last weekend I had 3 athletes competing in 3 national championships, and Lee came third in the British Championships with 6 meters 19. Yasmin won the Turkish Championships with 6 meters 19, having jumped 6:27 2 days before after a long layoff from jumping due to recovering from a hamstring strain of last season. And Bora came 4th in the Hungarian Champion, which as an under-20 athlete was very commendable with 5 meters 90. Well, I hope the information in this video will help you better understand the key muscles for developing increased sprint speed. If you have any specific questions on this particular video subject matter, or indeed my others, then do leave a comment in the section below or through my other social media. Do subscribe to the channel and please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.